We met 3 years ago. He was everything. Attentive, funny, even remembered the name of my childhood dog on the second date. My friends were almost annoyed at how good he was. Nobody's that perfect, my best friend Kara said. I laughed. I should have listened. The wedding was beautiful. The house came next. A Victorian fixer-upper in a small town 2 hours from the city. His idea. We need space, he said, away from all the noises. I agreed. I was in love. I would have agreed to anything he said. The first year was good. He cooked, he cleaned, he left notes on my pillow, he planned surprise trips. He never raised his voice. He never forgot an anniversary or a birthday or a random Tuesday he declared. I'll stay. My mother adored him. My coworkers envied me. Kara stopped warning me and started saying she wished she could find someone like him. I noticed the first thing about 6 months ago. It was small, something not that important, so small I almost didn't register it. He was chopping up vegetables and I saw him switch the knife from his right to his left hand. I said something like, I didn't know you could use both of your hands. He smiled and said, I'm full of surprises. And I let it go. But I'd known him for 2.5 years at this point. I watched him write, eat, drive, throw a football, open jaws, brush his teeth. He was right-handed. He had always been right-handed. Now he was left-handed, like a switch is flipped inside him. I started watching. His handwriting changed, not dramatically. The slant was slightly different. The pressure was lighter. If you weren't looking for it, you would never, and I mean ever, notice it. But I was looking. He started sleeping on the other side of the bed. He started taking his coffee black instead of with cream. He started humming songs I'd never heard him hum before. Old songs, songs from before he was born. Small things, tiny things, a dozen tiny things that each meant nothing on their own. I asked him about the coffee one morning. Since when do you drink it black? He looked at me with this expression I've never seen before. Not anger, not confusion, but something else. Something calculating, cold. Like I asked a question he had been expecting and he was deciding which answer to use. Trying something new, he said. New year, new me. It was June. I started keeping notes in private document on my phone, a list of changes. The headedness, the left-handedness, the coffee, everything. The handwriting, the sleeping position, the humming, I added to it every time I noticed something. By August, the list had 47 entries. 47! And I mean 47 things that you realize that your husband is changing. I know what that number means now, but I didn't know back then. The dog knew first. We had a golden retriever named Gus. I've had him since before I met my husband. Gus loved him from day one. Would sleep at his feet, would bring him toys, would whine when he left for work. Around the time I started my list, Gus stopped doing any of that. He wouldn't enter the same room as my husband. He would freeze in doorways. He'd growl low in his throat, a sound I've never heard him make. At night, he would press himself against my side of the bed and stare at the bedroom door. All night. Every night. My husband said Gus was getting old. Dogs get weird in their senior years, he said. Gus is only 4. Last month, I woke up at 3 a.m. and my husband wasn't in bed. I found him in the basement. He was standing in the dark, facing the wall, completely still, not moving, not speaking, just standing there like someone had paused him. I said his name. He turned around and his face was wrong. For just a second, less than a second, his features were slightly off. The eyes a little too far apart, the mouth a little too wide, like someone wearing a mask that had slipped. Then it was gone, and he was my husband again, smiling. Couldn't sleep, he said. Came down here to think. He kissed my forehead and went back to bed. Then it was gone, and he was my husband again, after that weird interaction. I stood in the basement for 10 minutes after he left, trying to convince myself I'd imagined it, trying to unease what I had seen, tried to just forget. I couldn't. That night I added entry 48 to my list. Face slipped. The next morning I called Kara. I hadn't talked to her in months. It slowly separated me from everyone. Not dramatically, not with rules or demands, just with suggestions. Kara's kind of negative, don't you think? Your mom stresses you out. Maybe we skip this visit. Your co-workers don't respect you. You should look for something remote. One thread at a time until I was alone in a Victorian house 2 hours from everyone I knew. Kara didn't answer. I tried my mom, no answer. I tried 3 other friends, nothing. I checked my texts, my calls, my emails. I had been reaching out. I had to send messages to prove it, but nobody had responded in weeks. I checked my husband's phone. While he was in the shower, I found a blocked numbers list. Kara, my mom, my dad, my brother, every friend I'd ever had, every co-worker I ever mentioned, blocked. Not on my phone, on his. He'd been intercepting. He had been responding to them as me, telling them I needed space, telling them I was going through something, telling them not to contact me. There was hundreds of messages, months of them. He had been both of us, the perfect husband and the wife who was pushing everyone away, building a cage out of my own voices. I didn't confront him. I pretended everything was normal. I smiled at dinner. I kissed him goodnight. I waited until he was asleep, and then I went to the basement. I don't know what made me look behind the water heater. Some instinct, I say. Some part of my brain that had been putting pieces together while the rest of me was playing wife. There was a door, not a real door, a hole in the wall, covered by a piece of drywall that had been cut to fit. Behind it was a space, a small room, maybe 6 feet by 4 feet, concrete floor, no windows, a single light bulb hanging from a wire, and on the floor was a phone. My phone, my old phone, the one I'd lost at airport 6 months ago. He had helped me look for it. He had been so concerned. He bought me a replacement the next day. The phone was still on. It was plugged into a charger that ran through the wall. The screen showed a messaging app open to a conversion with someone named Collector. The last message was from 3 hours ago. Specimen 47 is fully integrated. Subject has not detected the transition. Recommend proceeding to harvest phase. Estimated yield 94%. Compatibility. Previous specimens 46. Success rate 100%. Above that were photos. Dozens of photos, all of women, all taken without their knowledge, sleeping, showering, reading, crying, living their lives while something documented them, not someone, but something. One of the photos was of me from last night, asleep in my bed, taken from the doorway of my bedroom. I scrolled up, the conversation went back years. There were 46 previous specimens. Each one had a name, each one had photos, each one had a final message. Harvest complete. Specimen number, process, replacement, deployed. I looked up the names. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely type. Every single one was a missing woman. Different states, different years, all unsolved. All last seen with a boyfriend or a husband was described by everyone as the perfect man. I heard footsteps above me. He was awake. I'm in the bathroom now. The door is locked. He's knocking, softly, patiently, the way he does everything. Babe, come out. Let's talk about it. His voice exactly right, exactly the voice I fell in love with. Warm, concerned, loving, but I can hear something underneath it now. Something I never noticed before. A second voice, quieter behind the first one, like two people speaking at the same time, but one of them is further away. Babe, I'm not going to hurt you. You know me. You know I never hurt you. The door handle is turning slowly. The lock is holding, but I don't know for how long. I'm posting this because I need someone to know if you are reading this and you're in a relationship with a man who is perfect. Too perfect. If he remembers everything, if he never gets angry, if he slowly separated you from everyone you used to know, if your dog won't look at him, if you have noticed small things that don't add up, check his phone, check the basement, check behind the water heater, and count the changes. If you have noticed exactly 47 of them, run. This wonderful story was written by a friend on Reddit, Western_.3649. If you want to hear the second part, make sure hit that like button, hit the subscription button, and also drop a follow to our Twitch. Also remember to drop a follow to our lovely writer on Reddit and his TikTok, which will be mentioned below. And until next time, remember this: to take care of yourself, to take water, food, rest, and remember you're loved and cared for. Also remember, if something is too perfect to be true, it's exactly like that.